Some of y'all haven't even started that business yet because you know once you start, you know you'll be too deep in to turn back. Here's what I mean by that. Whatever that dream is, you already have the blueprint, but you haven't started yet because you know you're gonna want to turn back when the going gets tough. I believe that sometimes when we start stuff, we know that the investment that we put in, not even just money, the time, the sweat and tears, the sacrifices, delayed gratification, that's something that we're not ready to do. So we don't jump right in and we'll give ourselves excuses. I just don't have the capital. I just don't have the time. In order for you to get the things that you really want to get, has to be some sort of delayed gratification. And I'll just give you my example from when I started my Sweet Bites business. I did start a vegan-based pastry business back in the middle of the pandemic. I did a few pop-up shops, was on the shelves of a store and a cafe in New York. So I did a lot of different things so far up to this point of me becoming an esthetician. Realized how much work it really was to be the sole person in the business. I was willing to take L's along the way just because I wanted a different life. The sacrifices that I had to make, and I didn't realize how much of an impact that was going to be. There was a lot of time that I took away from spending time with my son. He was only 2 or 3 years old when I started it. I worked a lot. I had to be in the kitchen a lot, wrap orders, I drop off orders, I mail orders out. You had to make sure that you had enough products so that you don't sell out too early. And when people hear stories about that, they get nervous. And sometimes people don't even want to take that chance because they know, oh my gosh, if I do all of that, once I get there, I'm there. There's no turning back. That's why a lot of people don't start, because they think about themselves and they know that they haven't made the adjustment within themselves to be able to sustain strife and sustain the hardship. I'm telling you that if you don't start, you're never going to see the rewards of the things that God could be blessing you with. How bad do you really want it? The reason why a lot of people don't have the things that they want is because their why isn't big enough. Why are you trying to start this business? Why do you want to change careers? If you don't know your why, the motivation itself is not going to be enough to sustain whatever it is that you're trying to do. You're not going to always be motivated, but you do always have to be disciplined. There are going to be days where you're smiling and laughing and joyous. There's going to be days where you're crying and snotting. It's okay to feel those emotions. My last video that I spoke about, if you didn't get a chance to see it, was basically going over emotions. And we all have a command center in our head. Maintaining that emotional roller coaster is so vital for your success. If it was easy, then everybody would do it, right? Samuel L. Jackson tried some of my treats and he really enjoyed it. And everybody was like, oh my God, how did you do that? And when it was happening, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it was unreal. Like I didn't even process that happened until after I stopped doing Sweet Bites for a little bit. Praise yourself along the way, because that's gonna keep you motivated. The little wins, the small wins. And you can shift gears at any point, but it has to be going upward. Like we can't shift and go back because we got scared, or go back because we got upset, or because, things are not working the way that we want. We have to always find our way forward. When fail forward. As long as your why is in the forefront of your mind every single day, you're already on the right track. There's no perfect time. There's no perfect way. There's no, perfect opportunity that you're waiting for. It's now. That's one of the things that if I could grace your page with, just know that just starting is just the very beginning of your journey. And that journey is going to look like twists and turns. And I use the word roller coaster because on a roller coaster, it's not just straight, right? Not all roller coasters are straight. Some of them are twisty and turvy, and some of them go backwards, and some of them go forward, and some of them go around and around. And I look at that as life, right? Our emotions have to stay on a roller coaster because life is a roller coaster, right? But we have to be able to manage that. How do we manage our emotions while we're on the journey for success, whatever that may look like for your life, right? And I believe that there's 2 types of roller coasters. The first roller coaster that I'm referring to is the emotional roller coaster, right? Emotions are up and down. You're not going to be joyous all the time. You're not going to be smiling and laughing all the time. There are going to be tears. There's going to be disappointment. There's going to be grief. There's going to be hardships. Feel those emotions and then come back center and know where you're going. Know your why regardless of what you're experiencing. And that's the hardest part of the journey, in my opinion. I ask, what is your why? I feel that for certain things, I feel like that should just be something sacred to you. I am heavy on sharing things and oversharing things. I feel like there's a place for it, especially when you're going through certain hardships. I feel like until you come out of it, you shouldn't even be discussing it. It should be held close to your heart to keep you motivated going every single day. You don't know what other people's spirits are. You don't know what's out there, what energy's out there. It can change, things can shift, right? And I feel like sometimes things are just meant to be close to your heart. For you, won't share what my why is, but I will say that that should be something that you should think to yourself. When I was creating my business for Sweet Bites, I literally wrote out my why, and I put it in a journal, and I rewrote it every single day as I was creating it. I was going through LegalZoom to create the legal aspects of my business. I was writing it down so I remembered it. It was in the forefront of my mind. But it will help you get to the next level. Just got to do it, man. Like, there's just no right time to do anything, and life has shown me that. And I look at life as a mission. Every single day is different. Every single week is different. Every single year is different. I like to use the end of the year as a year to reflect on things that I've done. Hindsight 2020 is a real thing, and I feel like sometimes I learn the most after things have passed, and I look back like, man, I was so proud of myself because I did this. I'm so proud of myself because I did that. From my point of view, 5 tips that will help you stay focused on your goals. First one really is just knowing your why. Like I said before, know why you want to do what it is that you want to set out to do. It shouldn't have anything related to material things, because that changes. The second tip I would say is really just understanding that life is not easy. You're not going to make $1 million right out the gate. More than likely, it's very rare that that happens. If it does, congratulations, that's awesome. But if it doesn't, don't beat yourself up for it either. The third tip is celebrate small wins along the way. Sometimes we're looking for like the big $1,000 order, or we're looking for, a celebrity to shout us out. What about the fact that you even started creating your LLC? Let's clap for ourselves for that. Let's celebrate the fact that we even got invited to be a vendor somewhere. Let's celebrate a small win for there. Your first solid customer that keeps coming to you every month, and you're like, man, I want new people, but it's the same person dedicated to your business, buying your product or service every month or every year. Let's celebrate that, because somebody found you and they sold out to you. And also just know that it's okay to change it up. You can always rebrand. You can always change your direction in life, because life sometimes takes us on a journey. Maybe you wanted to open up a salon, right? And then maybe 6 years into it, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I kind of want to sell it and do this. And that's okay. So those are just my tips I found to be really helpful for me along the journey, because I've done a lot of different things, and most people may look at it like you're doing so many random things, but hey, I learned and I grew through each one. And I hope that this message comes across your page in a positive way to, hey, knock on your door and say, if you're thinking about it, just do it. Imagine making a product and hoping that somebody likes it. What if they don't like it? What if they don't, and I was nervous about all that every time. And I just thought about it. I'm just giving it. This is what I think tastes amazing. If you don't like it, it might not be for you, but I'm not doing it to please people. You know what I mean? It should be done because you genuinely want to do it. And whatever comes from it is going to be negative or positive. But that doesn't mean that your business is not good just because everybody that came to taste it doesn't like it. The moral of the story is if you're waiting for that perfect moment, that time is now. Why is right now the perfect moment? Because what are you waiting for? Why do you feel like you have time? Why do you feel like tomorrow's going to be here? It's we don't know what our timeline is here. So why wait any longer? But y'all have a good day though.